Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Philo. Now I am on Nakatomi Tower. I have my screens back, which is wonderful. We have, of course, Miss Robin Fisher from Canada, which is a more civilized country than here. And I have our guest today, which is Jeremy Fuscaldo. Jeremy and I are internet buddies. And he's very talented, like animator and comic artist, and he does conventions, and is like putting his stuff out there, and that's always very, very good. And if it's okay for me to say, if it's not, I apologize, but a little bit on the spectrum, which I always appreciate because it allows me to be able to see how awesome people are across like the whole spectrum of life, not just this little spectrum over here, but like the whole spectrum of life. And so we have comics today. We have Philo, and we got Jeremy's blank page, but for now I'll put this in here. And so where we left off was the Can was taking over. It took over the Argies. It's in the Space Tribune. Jeremy, let's do a recap so that you know where we are.
Okay.
So that you're not.
I have to be honest, these recaps also help me.
Yes, so we shall do a recap, and so okay. Bringing up the last page and then the one I'm currently building. And so, and the one I'm currently building. Okay. Which is, no, where's my page? Yeah, page setup. There it goes. Okay. It's got to load for a second. So, where we are is, we had a cutaway to the pirate ball where we realized that it's really roomy and nice and comfortable in there, and it's like perfect strangers when Philo, Armand. Oh, hi, Kate. Oh, I just realized that I got speech chat turned on my end. I don't want to get confused. So we got perfect strangers when Philo, Armand, our little mushroom guy, and the dog get absorbed, get Pokeball. And so the captain's like, bring them to me. And he's brought and, looking over his treasure maps. And so he's like, haze them with a buffet of food. And so the buffet of food, they make a toast with toast. And it ends up becoming an award ceremony. And so the Argies go to, for best adopted treasure hunt under 10 minutes goes to, whoever was there. And then they give it to the mushroom guy, and this little fish is like, awards are so political, so mushroom wins best new talent.
Fish.
And because it's a little peg leg, he's super happy it's a peg leg. Who has peg leg? I has peg leg. How can that be? And so the fish take the peg leg, thieves abscond with the leg. And so where we left off in the page that I'm building is vengeance is sworn by Philo and the gang. It's a fish school mutiny because all the fish want the leg for themselves, but there's only but a single leg. and so the enemy of my enemy is my friend. The Philo and the fish make a mental telepathic pact to help each other out, which is when a whale shark arrives on the scene, and he's like, hey, buddies. And then, yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I can hear that.
Pegs for all?
Yes. And so Pegs for all is the whale shark giving everyone pegs. And then, yes, then they're doing the can with the peg legs on top of the whale shark. And then that is where we leave off with Space Tribune. Can takes over the Argies. Comic Press. There's Philo. He's space famous. These are buffet pirates, by the way. That's where it started out, is that they are stealing the buffet. And yes, and so that's where we are. Do you want to take the first panel? Or do you want me to take it? Whale Shark likes pegging. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you want to take first panel?
Sure.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
I'll take panel 2 then.
Okay.
Did we maybe do a cutaway to the newspaper bullpen and just for something interesting?
Sure. Let me put Jeremy up there. I feel like they changed my I feel like they changed my ratios here. Why?
'Cause, like,
why?
in the studio, I feel like, or the bullpen, there's like a J. Jonah Jameson type, and he's like, but he's either a fish or a pirate, and he's like yelling.
Oh my God. J. Jonah Jameson, hold on, let me try something.
There we go. Okay, now I feel better about the ratios. I can customize things, and so we were kind of like all shoved over into one corner, and now we can kind of see it. So you're seeing J. Jonah Jameson in
Yeah, like a character
Jeremy's
like
panel?
that, but either he's a fish or a pirate. I don't know what he is.
I got something. I'm trying to make him a pirate.
Well, if it's the Argies, then that would be like insider news for pirates, right?
Yeah, so then he's a pirate.
And so what happens after we see the J. Jonah Jameson guy? But we have to come up with a caption before we start drawing.
Oh.
So what is the J. Jonah Jameson guy doing? What's he saying?
He's saying, "Stop the presses."
Bowie Simpson, says Kay. Pirate in fish hat, says Rob. And Whale Shark likes pegging. Let's see. J. Jonah Jameson hated Spider-Man, even though Spider-Man was better for the city than not having a Spider-Man.
What if like he recognizes the mushroom, and then he, and that's who he hates. He hates like the spider. That's his spider nemesis is the mushroom.
Is the mushroom?
Well, the mushroom won the award, right?
Okay, what's your idea, Jeremy?
What if the whale that was introduced was secretly a Spider-Man whale, and the Captain J. Jonah Jameson pirate is basically doing something in the vein of Captain Ahab, where he's hunting the Spider-Man whale.
That's a good idea. I like it.
Okay, so how do we incorporate Moby Dick?
So I think he's like looking at photos of the event, and he notices the whale and is like freaking out because it's like,
"I'll get you, spider whale." I think that should be the caption.
Spider whale,
I'll get you,
again.
spider whale.
Spider whale, swimming underwater.
Yeah,
like a
spider
whale.
shark. Yeah, I'll get you, spider whale. Okay, so that's your caption. Is "I'll get you, spider whale." And then, what is caption 2? What happens in the second panel? Because now you may draw to your heart's content.
Do we continue with this spider trope and then like have like that guy? What is his name? Robbie, his J. Jonah Jameson's second in command, trying to calm him down.
Robbie Robinson.
Yeah, Robbie Robinson.
Well, I don't want to drift too far from Philo.
Well, that's what I was saying, dude. Do we want to continue with the spider theme, or do we want to do something else?
It's up to Amber.
I feel like we should kind of explain the whole whale shark thing a bit more, like why J. Jonah Jameson's so mad, and then we can go back to Philo.
Philo could maybe be operating from the shadows, like he's sort of manipulating the
the news.
He's manipulating the conflict between J. Jonah Jameson and Spider Whale.
Philo is the Rupert Murdoch of the underwater set.
Yeah, let me turn on some music so then that way we can kind of hear. Maybe we'll relax and figure it out.
Yeah.
Remote Shark Says Kay.
Remote shark.
So, okay, so if it's I'll get you spider whale and he's going, I'll get you spider whale. We could do a cutaway, but I still want to involve Philo in some way. So maybe Philo's in danger and the whale shark has to become spider whale to save him
To
in that
rescue him.
moment. You know, a la Spider-Man comics. Like, oh no, I have to run away and change into my spider outfit and come and rescue Mary Jane because she's in love with Spider-Man and not with Peter Parker. You know, it's a very Cyrano de Bergerac story. At first, and then he gets the girl. Like they totally gave him the supermodel wife, girlfriend, like, for a while in the comics. And then they, like, gave them a really nasty divorce and, like, they really beat up Peter. Like, they're never nice to Peter in the comics.
Peter never gets a break.
No. But okay, so if he's in trouble, what would the caption be?
Okay, so would, like, maybe we'd need, like, a spider villain, but, like, a pirate spider villain. So, like, if, like, Green Goblin was, like, a pirate and he came down and threatened Philo, and then the whale shark would be there to save Philo.
Well, don't forget, this is in space, so that broadens our options. Kay says that Philo rides the whale shark.
Should I start drawing this, or are we still deciding on the caption before?
No. Your caption is "I'll get you spider whale," and you're drawing. That's what you're doing. We're figuring out panel 2 right now. Yeah, and so yes. So let's see. I'll get you spider whale, and then what happens to like. If Philo is in danger and there is a supervillain from the Spider-Verse.
What if there's, like, a black hole or something that he's about to fall into, Philo? Because you said they're in space. I'm trying, because if they were in the water, then, like, they could be, like, there could be some kind of current or typhoon or something that could sweep them away, but the shark would have to save them.
Yes.
But they're in space, so maybe, like, a black hole?
I'm thinking maybe backing up a little bit and maybe just explaining that it is just like spider whale shark. Like, let's see, black tripping thing, says Kay. But maybe, like, just a focus on spider whale shark, maybe? I don't know. Like, I wanted to involve Philo, but it's hard to involve Philo.
It's not meanwhile, but they do that thing previously.
Yeah.
Put a caption like previously, and then you can do your backstory on whale shark. Spider shark.
Okay.
Is he getting bitten by a radioactive nautilus? Or radioactive crab? He gets bitten by a radioactive crab.
Let's see. So previously with spider
On Amazing Whale Shark, your friendly amazing whale shark.
Is whale shark one word?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. And I don't have my other phone with me.
Okay. Previously on Spider Whale Shark. Okay. The chat is saying
Spider Whale Shark was a mild-mannered whale shark until he got pinched by a radioactive crab.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. So I am still putting together my buckets for my drawing. So I don't know what's going to come out tonight because it's not my usual tools that I'm using because I haven't gotten to them yet.
That could be pretty exciting, though.
Yeah, so...
The randomness. Surprise, surprise.
Let's see, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the whale shark crying over his dead Uncle Ben. Right?
Dead Ben Shark. Dead Ben Shark.
Yeah, dead Uncle Ben shark. And XX. Okay, we're gonna have him crying over his dead Uncle Ben. And then we're gonna have, here's the crab, right, with his claws. And because he's radioactive, he's gonna be glowing. And so we're gonna have him
Glow in the dark crab.
pinch
I love it.
the whale shark.
Crab people.
Yeah, we're gonna have him pinch the whale shark. And then we have to do the dynamic, like flying through the air in an impossible, there's no way that bones allow you to move that way pose through the air, kind of McFarlane pose of whale shark, like being spider
That's
shark.
perfect.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm still putting my brushes into buckets. You know, I'm still figuring it out.
So congratulations are in order for you guys.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. You've got an American Pope now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is what it is. I mean, I just hope that my hope is that the Pope does a good job, but I also gotta be prepared for anything, no matter what happens.
True. I'm just glad that he's not like a crazy, strict, right-wing, righteous, kind of like Benedict was.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's more in line with Francis's teaching.
I think so.
Well, Benedict was so corrupt, he didn't even like wait to die. He just like, no, I'm just gonna stop being Pope and just kind of live the luxurious Pope lifestyle. You know, Kay agrees with you. Yeah.
I know I have.
You know what's funny? Kay might get this. Well, she will get this. But when I first heard about him being elected, my first thought was, wow, if JFK was still alive, he'd be pretty stoked.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was Catholic.
Yeah, he was the first Catholic president.
I do know I have some friends who are really concerned about the new Pope, because they're worried, even though he does appear to be in line with Francis' teachings based on what I'm seeing, there are still social issues that they're really concerned about, that where he is maybe regressive on, I don't know.
Well, he's a Catholic cardinal up to this point, now Pope. What do you expect?
Oh yeah.
You know, like the Catholic Church isn't exactly like progressive in their thinking.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
but that's why that's why people are excited that a somewhat progressive leader has taken charge. I don't know. I was raised Catholic, and I'm not Catholic, but I pay attention to world events, so it's interesting that it's an American Pope, and I was actually hoping it would be one of the black popes, because that would really piss a lot of people off.
Nope, still not ready to elect a black Pope.
And then there was I got this reel in my timeline that was talking about the guy that has been dressing the popes for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. He's like a ambient musician, tattoo artist, photographer, gay icon that just makes gorgeous papal vestments. He's a perfumer. He's quite the gay icon, but I just find it interesting that the Catholic Church is so accepting of his sexuality, but there's so many Catholics in this world that would lose their minds if they knew.
Yeah. Yeah, that their Pope is being outfitted by a gay icon. But I mean, you know, you want the best, you go to the outlawed people, right?
Yeah.
True. Not to mention the Catholic Church is full of gay men. They're not
Yeah.
all gay, but I'm just saying there are a lot of gay men in the Catholic Church.
Scientology too.
Yeah.
Okay, now I got to figure out how to do this. Oh, now I have to figure out how to do this. This dynamic pose. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, that's interesting. Kay said that in the Catholic South they celebrate the Mass in Latin.
Yeah.
I didn't know they still did that.
My great grand aunts, I guess you could say, like my great okay, my great aunts, so my grandmother's sisters, I had like 3 of them that were Catholic nuns. And so my Aunt Day, Aunt Thelma, and I'm trying to remember the name of my 3rd great aunt.
Well, that's pretty interesting. I don't know. I've probably talked about it before because I work associated with a convent, but like the majority of nuns are dying out. Like it's only like Asian cultures now that are interested in like where women are willing to give their lives over to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Because all our nuns are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And they we've had about 3 of them go to the nun retirement home this last year. Yeah. And no, that's not a euphemism for them dying, by the way. It's an actual retirement home for nuns. But yeah, the youngest one is Asian. She's Vietnamese. And she's like in her 50s. But it's just women aren't willing to do that anymore. They're not willing to give up everything for religion. Because even all those pious, like right-wing people, like none of them would ever consider becoming nuns.
Nope, because they want you to have babies. That's what you're supposed to do. Have babies.
But also there's like a vow of poverty and chastity, and there's all these things that are not fun, and you've got to be selfless and giving of your time, and you can see a lot of religious women going for that. I mean, I guess technically they do volunteer at their church because, family first, as JD Vance says.
Oh, yeah. Question about Philo.
Yeah.
Do I have the basic design of them down right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
There's no model sheets. Okay.
That's one of the things I love about the show is the fact that we get so many different styles and different ways of drawing our characters. And my only rule about the characters is the octopus one, but I'm pretty sure I told you that one already.
Yeah.
Just no Japanese cutie lips on the octopus, because that's not how they really look.
Let's do let's give myself a newsprint pen.
Newsprint pen? What's a newsprint pen?
Newsprint pen is the name of this tool, and
Can I see it?
Sure. Let me go.
What effect does it do?
It's just a really solid gray. It has a good kind of crushy edge to it. It's just
nice.
Like when you're making like an ad or something, and it's you want just that newsprint gray that they.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
I like how you're drawing J. Jonah Jameson's face, Jeremy.
Thank you. It was inspired by my favorite Spider-Man series, Spectacular Spider-Man, which was
Spectacular Spider-Man,
Spectacular Spider-Man.
I used to play that theme on my radio show a lot. I like that series too.
Was that the one with Neil Patrick Harris as Spider-Man?
No, that was Josh Keaton.
Okay.
Who you may remember as young Hercules in the original Disney's Hercules. And he was also in one episode of Invincible, playing a alternate universe, not Spider-Man, but it's similar to Spider-Man character.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Spider-Man, I just saw a trailer for Spider-Man Noir, so I guess that's coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
I saw it too. I hope it does well.
Me too. I think it's. I love it when they do that sort of Elseworld thing.
We're gonna see how
DC pioneered it, I guess, but.
Well, I mean, there's something to. William Irwin Thompson wrote this book called "The Time Falling Bodies Take Delight," like forever ago, and he talks about in it that in the days of old, when people would convey a story through oral tradition, every version of a myth became like the true version to the people who heard it, right? And so today's standards, we're trying to find, quote unquote, the true version of the myth. And he says that every version of the myth that we find, has merit to it. And comic books are mythology. So it's like every version of that myth has merit. And people, I think, forget that it's like, okay, there's Marvel zombies, right? But by playing the What If, which Elseworlds, did Elseworlds come before What If? Did What If come before Elseworlds?
What If came before Elseworlds?
Well, then
Marvel
pioneered the idea of the alternate idea, right? And don't forget, they even parodied themselves with What The, right?
Yep.
Where they would just be like, what if Wolverine was a woman? Right? Remember that one? And then years later they make Lady Wolverine, with Laura, and and actually go through, some serious storytelling with like, what's it like to not have any kind of origins except for Wolverine, who doesn't want to have like any kind of connection with people. I don't know. But yeah, it's basically, it's interesting because every version of the myth has merit. So it allows us to be able to explore, what would happen if zombie took over Marvel? What would happen if Superman were raised by Russia, right? And Red Sun is a very, very interesting story of a what if. And I know that I'm calling it a what if, and Red Sun is a DC story, but it's still a what if story. What if this happened? And so that's what I mean. Like, what if small w, small I, not the copyrighted Marvel version. I don't know. I firmly believe that there's merit to every version of the story. Like, I have a is for Alien, little kids, like kids book for the movie Alien for my daughter. And it's a really cute telling of the story. And obviously, like, it doesn't show anybody get killed, but it implies, if you've seen the movie, and and of course Jonesy lives at the end, Z is for for sleeping, because at the end they're all sleeping at the end. Yes. But even though that's like a way watered down version of the Alien movie, right? It still has merit. It's still a beautiful little story of people, fighting an alien. Oh, it's for open.
Open the hatch and get rid of the xenomorph.
It's like you've read it. How you doing? Do you still have some time on panel 1?
Me? I think it's almost done.
Okay.
So far, I think I was able to convey the basic idea down.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm just doing previously on Spider Whale Shark.
Maybe that's not really Philo. Maybe we have a second Philo like Otis, only this is an evil Philo.
I don't know. Like, it's supposed to be a showstopper because they were doing the can, and I thought that was a good place to say showstopper. And so, if you are still working on panel 1, like, are you adding shading to that, or is that done?
The line art's done. I'm just trying to figure out how to include the grayscales and any other minor details. Does it need the shading?
Well, I was ready to move on to the next panel if you were.
Let me see. Let me just get rid of this right here. Do I need caption to end it with some caption before I finish it up?
You had to start with the caption.
Oh yeah. Let me just include that there.
Yeah, I'll get you, Spider Whale.
Whoop. I'm gonna make sure that's covering. Let me see. How do I move that up there? Let me minimize that. There we go.
All right. So does that mean you're taking panel 3?
Okay. I think I'm ready for panel 3.
Awesome. Then I'm taking panel 4.
Okay. So let me just put all this in one giant folder. And then start anew.
All right. So what happens in panel 3? So we go previously with Spider Whale Shark, and then we showed him, becoming Spider Whale Shark. And so then what happens?
Let's see. Uncle Ben Shark dies, and then looks like the crab spider pinches Spider Whale. He becomes a spider. It's a canon event, and then maybe he goes to find the robber that killed Uncle Ben Shark.
Well, how deep are we going to go into the flashback? Okay, because I was thinking it's just a quick little, and then we go back to Philo, because you have Philo looking all sneaky.
All right.
Yeah, what's he doing at the newspaper?
Yeah, what's he doing at the newspaper?
I'm very curious.
Maybe he's directing, manipulating J. Jonah Jameson into pursuing Spider Whale Ahabsa, and we see the ship pursuing Spider Whale with Philo there too, kind of happy that it's going on.
Okay, so he's there, and he's sudden. Okay, so he's transported from where he is on the thank you, sweetie. He's transported where he was on. He's cyclically writing Uncle Ben's obituary. That's what Kay says. So he's transported from the pirate ship where they were having the can. Oh no, we lost Robin.
Oh, Robin's
She looked
gone.
down and then she was gone.
Ooh.
Robin,
where are you?
She'll come back.
Okay.
She has bad connections sometimes. I have a Klondike bar.
Let's see, Spider Whale.
All right. There she is. Okay.
Cut out.
Hello.
Hi, my data just cut out. Cut out. I don't know what happened. There is a rainstorm here, so but that shouldn't affect my data. So I'm on Wi-Fi now, so hopefully I might be a little jerky, laggy.
So, okay, what are you drawing without a caption?
I was just warming up for the next drawing, and I was waiting until we came up with a caption before we decided on what panel 3 was going to be.
Okay.
I do love the spider shark eyes. Those are awesome.
I do like
Thank
the
you.
spider shark eyes. I do like that, but we got to figure out why we're looking at spider shark.
Well, were we going to go with the idea where where Jonah is pursuing Spider Whale, manipulated by Milo. So if that were the case, what if the ship was arriving from a portal? Like from a portal created by Philo to help pursue Spider Whale.
Okay. Well, we could.
No, but isn't it the mushroom that can do portals?
We could incorporate previously from the story that they know how to get through stargates now. And there are stargates, like, at least when they were in Escher space, there were stargates. We don't know if they're still in Escher space, but they could still run into a stargate.
Yeah. We're just waiting for more comments in the comment section. Let's see. He's brutally writing Uncle Ben's obituary.
Kay says he's, psychically writing Ben's obituary.
What if he had it in his fin?
Okay.
We could introduce an Aunt May shark sobbing at the funeral.
Oh no.
Yeah, okay. I know it doesn't have a caption.
God.
So the caption for your panel is just dramatic pause.
Okay.
Because we don't have a caption.
Well, we are setting things up. Things are happening in that panel. We just don't have words for them yet.
Happening in that panel, but your caption is dramatic pause. Because I love Spider Whale Shark too much to let go of that drawing.
Okay.
Is he going to work? Is that like a briefcase? Or is that his portfolio of photos for J. Jonah Jameson?
It was somebody had made a suggestion in the comments. He's writing Uncle Ben's obituary.
Yeah, right.
I thought maybe that'd be it. Like he's holding it in his shark fin.
Yeah, working on it in his notebook. I would.
So you should put OBIT in big words on the paper.
Okay, so what happens after our dramatic pause?
Let's see. I think
we have to show Philo interacting with either Spider Shark or J. Jonah Jameson Shark. Because that's what we've been leading up to, right?
A plan is forming.
Yeah. Let's see.
Spider-Man's rival. What? No. Let me back this up. Peter's rival at the paper was Eddie Brock. Spider-Man's rival was the symbiote. After rejecting the symbiote's like, what? No one rejects me. Right? And the symbiote found Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock found the symbiote, and then they formed, their little symbiosis.
Venom.
And became Venom, right? Which was a doubly deadly villain to Spider-Man, because he knew about Peter and he knew all of Peter's weaknesses. And he never set off the spider sense, because he knew how to not set it off, because he had joined with Peter. He knew what caused the spider sense.
He knew all of Peter's secrets.
Mind, body, and soul.
Yes. And probably going back to Todd McFarlane, probably one of the coolest inventions that Todd McFarlane came up with when he was working at Marvel. And so let's see, Family Man and Furniture Connoisseur JD, Venom Shark.
Oh God.
And so what I'm thinking is if Philo is like Eddie Brock, we could turn Philo into a Venom.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Philo could be like the Venom.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and so the caption I'm thinking would be like what? Symbiosis. And it's like him joining with the symbiote and becoming like Venom Philo. And
Symbiote's got a symbiosis.
Let's see. Symbiotes.
You know, like clowns be clowning, symbiotes gotta be symbioting. I don't know. I'll cut that
Symbiotes got to symbiote.
Oh,
Symbiotes
God.
gotta be symbioting. I don't know how to grammarly say that right.
Then we have to bring olive oil back, says Rob.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because she had like
She
venom
is
powers.
was like a symbiote, that's true.
Well, she could be the carnage.
She was an
of the
inky
story.
lady.
Oh my God.
She could be the carnage of the story.
Oh, dear God.
That's
So
a great
random.
idea.
It's so random.
Mm-hmm.
That's the wonder of the show.
No, I like it. I like it. It's funny that it's random.
Okay. So I'm thinking.
When I was in China, I went into a Prada store. It was weird because it was like the first time I could go to any of these kind of stores. Like I remember in the mall there was like a Dior store. That was really interesting. But anyways, the Prada store had a giant sweater with olive oil on the back. It was like, what the heck? I almost bought it, but of course it was expensive because it's Prada.
So we're going with Philo turning into a symbiote.
Well,
Yes.
okay. So you're drawing Philo turning into a symbiote. I thought you were drawing him writing the obituary.
He is. No, I still have Spider Shark in the background, about to face off with Philo turning into a symbiote.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, no. You jump panels. No.
I did?
You jump
Oh.
panels. You're
Hmm?
you're doing Spider Shark writing the obituary.
Okay.
And symbiote's got a symbiote was my caption. Yours was dramatic pause.
Oops. Sorry.
You can't just jump onto
Good.
an idea because you like it.
No, I didn't mean to. I
We
thought
can try though. We can try.
that was my bad. I did that. Okay. Sorry. When you said dramatic pause, I thought.
Literally?
Whoop, hold it. Hold on. I gotta fix the monitor. Just a little tickle of that. There we go. It's opening. Bingo. All right. Let me fix this now.
I haven't watched the third Venom movie yet. But right now I'm deep diving into Marvel movies again, and I've been preparing for Thunderbolts like it was an exam. I just finished the Black Widow movie again because I've watched a lot of this stuff, but I forget it so easily.
Yeah.
And I finished all the Hawkeye episodes again, and then I'm rewatching Falcon and Winter Soldier right now. But then I get to watch the new Captain America, which I haven't seen, and then it'll be Thunderbolts. I'm actually very behind on my Marvel movies. I used to be pretty good about staying on top of them. It was my problem. But like I haven't seen the new Venom. I never saw the Morbius. I never saw the Madam Web. Even though I know both of those are supposed to be crap, I do want to see them. I did see Werewolf by Night and Moon Knight, but I never saw the Echo. I never saw Agatha, and the new Daredevils are out, and I haven't watched those either. Secret Invasion was so dull, but I think I'm gonna try it again because I like the actors. But yeah, Thunderbolt is supposed to be really excellent.
It is. It really is.
Did you go to the theater and see it?
I did. I saw it last week.
I really like Florence Pugh. I think she did a really good job playing Yelena.
She did.
She does a really. I remember when they introduced that character in the comics, and there was no humor about her, and I think Florence really added that to her, which is this really nice layer to the character.
Yeah, I really like how they made her. In a way, she's like the lead of the entire film, and I really also appreciate how the villain of the movie is that there is no villain, and it's just their mental health struggles.
Okay, well, don't give too much away, because
Absolutely
I want to see
not. I'm not giving away plot or character moments or story moments, just general theme.
Thank you. Hey, you know what I was thinking? If the ship is showing up in the background, wouldn't his spider shark sense be tingling a little?
It would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I have to draw Philo as a Venom.
Yeah, when we were coming up with the idea, I thought we were incorporating all those Venom ideas into the same panel.
No, we had moved on to the next panel. Remember, I like concurrent drawing.
It's all good. It's all good. It's over.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Now I get to draw Philo as a Venom. Yeah. Yeah, this is lounge music.
I like it. Pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's make.
Have you both seen it was Princess Wiki's I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Princess Wiki's video essay on Falcon the Winter Soldier. It aired about 2 years ago, 2 years after the original series had aired.
No, I didn't. I
Nope.
don't usually watch those kind of things, but tell me more, because I'm curious as I am currently watching it, right?
Yeah.
What did she have to say that was interesting and different from anybody else's? Fake.
I think she, if my memory serves right, and I could be a little bit, it's been a while since I've seen it, but Princess Wikis talks about how it was like a basic overview, things that didn't hold up as well thematically, especially with the last episode, but things that were done right. And also the issue of how, unfortunately, and I remember commenting on this years ago, how the unfortunate thing is that because of where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going, it won't matter as much. And at the time, this was, I think, before Kang Dynasty was canceled.
Yeah. Well, that really screwed a lot of stuff up, right? Because he was supposed to be like an overarching character in a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd already set him up in 2 TV series. He was in Loki and he was in something else. He was in Loki and he was in the Ant-Man movie. That's right.
Yeah.
So it was going to be mega. And boy, did he shit the bed on that. Fuck.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that one of the allegations?
He got charged with beating and hurting his girlfriend, so he got canceled.
You specifically mentioned shitting the bed.
Okay,
so
well,
I was like, is that one of the allegations?
That's a metaphor.
Trying to make light of the fact that like they were terrible charges, and it's a very good thing that they like did not reward that guy for bad.
Oh, he's still getting gigs. He's just not gonna get the epic Marvel gig that's gonna pay him for years and years.
The Marvel actors have to sign a morality clause in their contracts because they know that they're going to be looked up to by kids, even the villain. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so the actors have to basically sign for the length of time that they're playing this actor that they're not going to do drugs, they're not going to drink, they're not going to party, they're not, it's very similar to the old studio contracts that like MGM used to make their actors sign, right? Of like, not we own you. It's not like the old MGM days, but it's basically if you violate this, like we terminate your character, we kill them, like you're not invited back. Like wherever you're at, bam, it's there, it's ended. And so he violated that morality clause, and so they were perfectly within their legal rights to end everything involving Kang. And that's why you have morality clauses.
Absolutely.
So that's all I got to say about that. But I got to figure out about Philo here becoming a Venom. Oh, wait. I do have like brushes that do cool things. No.
Like
That's
some
scratching
people are into
cool.
Venom.
Yeah, but they do like. Look, this is very venomy. So yeah, see, if I put me in the big window, it's very venomy.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That looks good. That looks really good.
The new version of Clip Studio Paint has things in different places than the old version. So it's like I keep looking for things where the old version had them, and it's like, oh, they're not there anymore. That's right. They're not there anymore. And so, let's see. Let's do into ink, and then yeah. We'll give him some texture this time.
But yeah, MCU discussion aside, Princess Weki's is a really great video essay. What was that?
Another motorbike?
Is another motorcycle.
Okay.
I live on a busy street.
Yeah, Princess Weki's puts out a lot of great video essays. I think I'm starting to watch her video essay on I'm watching Princess Weki's video essay on the Venom I'm watching one of her video essays on Avatar.
Yeah.
Okay. The Last Airbender.
Yeah. It was also on Last Airbender and Legend of Korra and the future on the franchise. And they go by they them pronouns. My apologies.
That's okay. I think correcting yourself and just moving forward.
Yeah.
I on YouTube, I like Filmento for movie analysis. He'll hi Tangent.
Hey, thank you.
I like Filmento because he will break things down of like, well, why isn't this movie working? And then he'll say like, okay, they didn't establish this strong enough. And, like if they had focused on this, it would have made this other element, stand out more.
Yeah.
Or there's too many subplots or whatever. So he just kind of analyzes the movie.
Yeah.
And then it's not, there's no politics. It's not like Critical Drinker where, he's bringing his politics and his
God.
personal, idea and stuff into it. Filmento is all about like just kind of the idea, right? And then I like him, and I also like the breakdown, which is, I'm trying to remember the name of the channel that does breakdown. But what they'll do is they will take a movie and like if the movie is like 130 minutes, their breakdown sometimes is like 2 hours, right? And it's not like you're watching the whole movie, because what they'll do is they'll break down scenes and point out things in the background, in the stage direction, the way that characters are facing each other, the way that the director put the scene together, to emphasize a certain strength in a character or something like that. Like a good example of that would be in The Departed. Everybody who's going to die has an X.
Yeah.
And it's subtle, but it's like one of those film things that once you notice, then it's like, oh, why didn't I see this before?
Yeah.
But it plays on your subconscious when you're watching it. And so,
My favorite channel has nothing to do with movies right now.
What's your favorite channel?
I forget what it's called, but so this guy has a roommate, and his roommate's alcoholic uncle died, and
Ooh.
willed him this big plastic bag of handwritten recipes. And so he's divided them into like the bags are in categories of like casserole, pies, sandwiches, and stuff. And so he does a reel, and then he picks a recipe out of the bag, and it's all just like misspelled and like just this chaotic recipe. But the thing is like, so sometimes they're just like, he makes it, and then him and the roommate try it and they rate it. And sometimes it's like, hey, this is kind of weird. But then sometimes they're like flabbergasted by how good it is.
Yeah.
Like the one I saw recently was this one where it was like Havarti. It was a gourmet grilled cheese sandwich with like Havarti and brie, and then a homemade blueberry like compote and on sourdough, and both of them were just like,
yeah, the blueberry and the brie. The blueberry and the brie would play well off of each other.
Yeah.
Like I put those on chartreuse boards together all the time. Yeah.
But it's fun to watch to see which recipes are hits and which ones are misses, and what the alcoholic dead uncle is going to come up with next.
Oh dear.
No, my favorite YouTube channel right now is Viva La Dirt League. Are you familiar with this?
What is it?
I think so.
It's a skit comedy out of New Zealand. Symbiotes need to symbiote. Yeah. Are you correcting my spelling?
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, he's correcting my spelling.
Yeah.
Symbiotes. I need an E.
But also his grammar is right. Symbiotes need to symbiote.
But yeah.
Symbiotes need to symbiote. He's right.
Yes.
But yeah, Princess Wikis is one of my favorite non-binary creators. They've really put out a lot of great essays on Legend of Korra, and they also talked about Marvel Comics and how Wanda has been handled in the movies, and a few other essays too.
Are you done with your panel?
I think so.
Okay, awesome. So then I will be on panel 6 then.
I think I'm gonna go to the bog hut. I'm gonna take you with me there.
Okay, yay, bog hut. We're going on a vacation.
Well, I'm just gonna double check my internet first, because I really should be on my data plan when I go out there.
Yeah.
If I disappear, I'll be back, I promise.
Okay, I'm
just checking what's going on with my data.
So dramatic pause, and then after the dramatic pause, we have symbiote's got a symbiote, and then what happens?
Okay.
So this is symbiote's got a symbiote.
Okay.
So okay. So what happens? Are they fighting? There you are.
Yeah, I just wanted to switch over to data plan, and it's back again, so that's good.
Okay, no worries.
Let's see.
I could show you some of my house. It's a mess, but you guys, if you want to see my collection, I can show you some of it. Let's see here.
A showdown?
Turn on some
Well,
light.
it's supposed to be a showstopper. That's what I named the episode. So
Some of my toys up there. These are all my movie toys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You could put me in the big screen. It'd be better. Here's some of my movie toys. Oh, speaking of sharks, there's my shark.
Excellent.
There's some more of my books. Oh, my cat's urn. Let's see here. There you go. My Johnny Rotten poster, because I love Johnny Rotten. Alright, turn on some lights. There you go. So,
Okay.
more of my toys. Oh, that's I have to work on it, but my anime shelf is kind of a mess right now. That's my anime shelf up there. Oh,
Yeah.
there's my rabbit.
Oh,
Okay, there's
I
my
have-
rabbit with big pointy teeth.
I have the same Ayanami.
Nice.
I broke my Lance of Longinus.
Well, let's
I
see
don't
what else-
remember where it went.
These are some of my other toys.
Nice.
I suppose I could put the two. I don't know how to
Yeah.
do that. More comics, more toys. So there's Tara McPherson toys. Where the wild things are.
Nice.
Ashley Wood. These are my cartoon toys up here. So there's my Simpsons and my Futurama, my Zim, my South Park, my Log.
Yeah, I see some Happy Tree Friends up there.
Yeah. And then coming. Oh, there's my Bill Nye and my Jim Henson.
Mm-hmm.
Dexter's Lab. Samurai Jack. Old School She-Ra. Old School He-Man. Adventure Time. These are all my
Cool.
Transformers. My
Cool.
gold Transformers. I don't know what you guys are seeing because I can't see what you're seeing. And then,
Well-
speaking of sharks. Oh, wait, I gotta put a thing back on. My cat's bed is a shark. Can you see it? Can you see my
Rob
cat's
says
bed?
that most of his swag's from Silent Hill. He does have a Nick Nocturne action figure from Nightmine. Let's figure out what
There's my cat's bed. It's a shark.
Nice. Let's figure out what we're gonna draw for the next panel. So, so you're on panel 5?
I think so.
Yes, panel 5. So what happens in panel 5?
Okay, panel 5.
They don't interact in the movies. they've yet to have the big Spider-Man Venom fight. They had kind of a Venom in a Spider-Man movie, but it was Topher Grace, and that's not Eddie Brock. Like they should have had like the actor that plays Reacher as Eddie Brock.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But the other Brock they had was the one Thomas Hayden Church. Oh no, wait, he was Sandman.
Yeah,
no, I'm wrong. Sorry, he was Sandman.
He was Sandman.
He was Sandman.
No. And then
You're right. That was the Topher
then
Grace.
it's
Yeah, you're
Tom
right.
Hardy,
You're right.
right? And Tom Hardy is
Yeah.
an acceptable Eddie Brock. I accept him as Eddie Brock. He's bulky. He plays kind of the dumb jock who's in this situation.
Well, the thing that I love about Hardy is that he's a fucking amazing actor. So, like, I feel he brought a lot of pathos and depth to Venom that probably wouldn't have been there.
He wasn't afraid to look like he was sick as a dog the whole time, which I imagine you would feel like having an alien symbiote inside you. Like changing your DNA and stuff. Like, I imagine you would be all sweaty and night sweats and, like... I don't know if Spider Whale Shark knows who Philo Venom is. So maybe that's a discovery, is Spider Whale Shark finding out who Philo Venom is. And maybe he sees him transform. So we could have like Venom in the background transforming and Spider Whale Shark in the foreground going, no!
Have you guys seen that Thomas Hardy movie where he's like...
We have to have a caption first, Jeremy.
Okay.
So...
The Cray Twins movie? I think it's called The Cray Twins, actually. Where he played twins? Like psycho, real-life, actual crime twin?
Okay, Spider Whale Shark discovers Philo Venom's true identity. That's your caption.
What's my caption? Philo.
Spider Whale Shark discovers Spider Venom's true identity.
Spider Whale.
Or no, I'm sorry. Spider Whale Shark discovers Philo Venom's true identity.
Spider Whale discovers who?
Spider Whale Shark.
Whale Shark.
discovers Philo Venom's true identity.
I'm gonna fix that. Philo Venom's true identity.
Yeah.
Hot in the bog, but I guess I'm just hanging out in the neighborhood.
Philo Venom's
True identity.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm ready.
All right, awesome. So that is your panel. That is what you're drawing. Is you're drawing him discovering the true identity of Philo Venom.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens after the true identity is discovered in panel 6?
Hey, look, guys, it's Canada. It's Canada.
Yay, freedom! It's beautiful.
My little cul-de-sac.
Yeah. So, okay, so what happens after the true identity is discovered?
Confused. Is this good Philo or bad Philo?
Chat, you gotta help me out. Like, I
Can you
can't.
answer my question? Is this good Philo or bad Philo? I'm so confused about the Venom Philo.
I think it's the same Philo.
Is it an alternate universe Philo?
Well, we were talking about the merits of, you know, multiple universes.
How does all
then that
Philo
would make
become Venom?
Then that would make the next episode probably like across the Philoverse or something like that.
But
Like,
how did all Philo become Venom? Like, maybe there should be a panel of, like, the alien capsule exploding on them while they're on the ship having a buffet. You know what I mean? Like, how does the symbiote get onto our Philo if it's our Philo?
I had drawn that right here of the symbiote getting on our Philo.
Yeah, but, like, where did he come from? Like,
I don't
how
know.
did it happen? How did he get to that point? That's what I'm saying. Maybe the next panel should be from the symbiote's point of view before he hits Philo.
Venom is olive oil, says Rob. Venom drips from his teeth.
See?
Oh. Is
I
this where
think
my
there's your next panel.
So olive oil is actually the Venom symbiote?
Yep.
Okay.
And she's got some weird link to Philo because of the last story that she was in with him. And that's how she was able to find him. And now she wants revenge. She's leaping story lines.
Okay. So in my panel, Philo's true identity is olive oil.
No, Venom's true identity is olive oil. The inky block.
No, in your panel, Philo is Venom.
Okay.
Yeah. But I know what I'm doing for mine.
Okay. Question, have any of you used Nebula before?
No, it's very expensive.
I try not to use Marvel characters.
I don't have the money for Nebula.
The streaming app, right?
Yeah, I don't have the money for Nebula. It's expensive.
I would
okay.
love to have it. Think that olive oil has been inside Philo all along.
Ooh. Yeah, I wish I had money for things like Nebula, because I like a lot of the creators on there, but it's just I don't have it in the budget right now.
I don't even know what Nebula is.
It's a streaming app that a lot of YouTubers that didn't like the deal that YouTube gave them, because YouTube basically, it's Google, right? So they hold all the cards, and they're like, oh, thanks for making us this big pile of money. Here, have some quarters, right? And so the YouTube creators, they didn't like that. And a lot of them banded together and created their own platform called Nebula. And so because it's their own platform and because it's quality content and stuff like that, like these were the top people on YouTube. Like these were the people with millions and millions of followers.
Sounds like what they did with Image.
Yes,
comics.
Exactly. And so so they created their own streaming app, but I just can't afford it. I wish I could. I wish I could support them, but it's just expensive, and I just don't have it in the budget. So I know you're probably going to mention a creator on there, but no, I can't watch any because it's just expensive. Yeah, I have a 4-year-old that limits the amount of money I can spend on things.
I know it's an old man shaking fist at the sky kind of thing, but I sure miss the days when I didn't have to know and pay and see everything. Like, it was kind of nice being in your own little microcosm before the internet, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, okay.
In some ways. In a lot of ways, no, but in some ways.
The internet started out as free share of information. What ruined the internet is when people started putting paywalls between us and that information.
That wasn't my point at all, but okay. That's sure.
Well, I mean, you're talking about paying for everything, right, on the internet?
No, my point was about information. How, like, now that there's so much information at our fingertips, there's just so much to know and see, it just gets really, really overwhelming. It was so nice when we had before the internet where it's like, there was a limited amount of independent comics that were accessible to me, so that was what I knew, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, it's an old man shaking fist at the sky kind of thing.
Let's see. I gotta look up a picture of olive oil. Social media anxiety, says Rob.
It's kind of like how there's not as many niche groups anymore. You know how, like, when you were in high school, there was like the goths and the punks, and you had to like really look hard for that kind of information, so it was limited and parceled out. And same, like, if you were into anime, I remember the first anime I saw, the only reason I saw it is because my best friend did a year-long exchange in Japan, and this was like in '94. So like it was hard to come across that stuff, and it made things like you really wanted to be part of that little group. But now, because everything is so accessible, you don't have to search for anything anymore. You can just get it at your fingertips. I kind of feel like those kind of groups are on the wane, that because everything's accessible. Like, if I want to be a goth today, I can download all that information and history. I can get all those clothes and be a goth tomorrow. And then next week, if I want to be a punk, I can do the same thing, right?
Yeah,
like,
you had to climb uphill both ways in the snow to become a goth.
I'm just, like, that's why I said old man shaking fist at the sky. But I'm just, anyways, yeah.
No, I think that actually the democratization of information is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying sometimes I miss it, the old days. I love, like, it's amazing to me, like, my memory is going, and it's amazing to me that I can just look up anything I want. Like, IMDb is one of my favorite websites in the world, right? Like, I constantly go to that website because it's like, who was that person in? Oh my god, why can't I remember that movie? Who was his name? Who was in? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love the fact that we have all this information at our fingertips, and I'm learning about so much crazy stuff. Like, there are animals that I didn't even know exist. But now we're also at this point in time where you really have to question every image you're looking at. Like, I was looking at images of flowers today, and I was like, is this real or fake? Did they, like, amplify the color? Is it AI? Like, it's depressing in that regard.
Yeah. See, I'm just doing Venom Philo. Pet him, Philo. Yeah, I'm part of a bunch of anti-AI groups, and someone was sharing
Me
the
too.
other day. Someone was sharing the other day about how, like, people will type in pictures of like baby pigeon, and the AI will shit out a picture of a beautiful baby pigeon that's not accurate to what baby pigeons look like at all.
They're not beautiful. They're hideous.
Yeah, they're hideous.
I love pigeons. But yeah, some baby birds are ugly as fuck.
Yeah. I saw one the other day where a guy was doing AI where he was turning himself into like Luke Skywalker and stuff, and he had a flashlight, and he was like putting the flashlight on his face, and you could see the AI model over his face for the face swap for the deep fake, right? It reacted to the light on his own face, right?
Yeah,
so
it's scary.
As he's shining light on his face, the AI model for Luke Skywalker or for Elon Musk or the different people that he was doing had, like, you could see the light shine on their face.
Yeah, well, was it Magic Marmot just said AI has the ability to do realistic characters in video that maintain character. And he's right. I was watching a video of Duran Duran playing with Motorhead, and I'm like, that never, ever happened. Never. And I'm like, but it looks so real. Like, it wasn't just like a 1 or 2 second snapshot. No, it was like a full-on video, like it actually happened. And it was it's so weird.
Yeah, what gets me is like in Photoshop, it's so prevalent in the program now that say you have something that's cropped at 1,000 by 1,000 pixels, it is a square, and you want to post it to TikTok, right? But you don't want to like zoom way in and like lose the image, and you don't want to have like ugly black crop marks on it, right? In Photoshop, AI can extend that image to whatever you want.
Yeah, they fill it in. It's crazy. I know, I was using Photoshop to get rid of a line. Because remember, it used to have like an eraser tool where you just erase the line?
Yeah.
It doesn't do it anymore. AI fills in whatever it thinks you want. And at one point, it wrote in the words empty space. And I'm like, no, I just need you to erase this one blemish. It's awful because you can't get rid of it. It's everywhere now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I was talking to you guys about it. No, I think I was talking about it at work, where even with kids' books, like I recently got a kids' book that's like about animals. And I thankfully I checked the date. It said 2022, and I'm like, okay, you know what? That's officially the cutoff date. Because I'd say after 2022 is when AI started writing its own books and getting everything wrong.
Yeah. It's really disappointing to see how much AI is like trying to replace a lot of creative people. It's very frustrating.
The $1 trillion problem that AI is trying to solve is wages.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay wages. They want slaves again.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I mean, why do you think they send everything over to China? Because it's slavery they don't have to worry about.
Yeah, oh no, we don't have slaves. We just send it over to a place that has slaves. We don't call it slaves. We don't call it slavery. No.
Or we'll send it to another country that indulges in child labor.
Yeah.
Like, there was this amazing reality TV show where the BBC did, where they took a bunch of like 20-year-olds, I think it was like 6 of them, and they were all like fashionistas, women and men. But they were like, into fashion and clothes and stuff. And they took them to India.
Yeah.
And they made them work at a factory. But the thing is each week, the factory got worse and worse. Like it was a different factory each time.
Yeah.
And they had to live off the wages they made.
Yeah.
Initially they were like, oh, this isn't so bad. And they had to like make clothes like the workers. But then it got to the point where they were at one of the worst ones. It was a jewelry one where they put like jewels and stuff on fabric for saris, and it was all kids. It was all kids in there, and they were just like crying. They couldn't believe that this actually still happened. But the thing is they were talking to the person that was like responsible for like trying to rescue these kids because they wanted to help, right? And the person was like, "You can't rescue them because what you're doing is taking away their livelihood, their food. They're making money to feed their whole family. And if you like put them in an orphanage because kids aren't supposed to work, you're starving that family.
You're starving that family.
Yeah, it was, and so it was obviously it was incredibly eye-opening for these 20-year-olds, and when they came back to the UK, were like, we're starting a nonprofit. One girl was like, I'm only going to employ women from third world countries and give them all the proceeds. Like they were all changed. It was a really cool reality TV show.
Rob says we do have for-profit prisons that the prisoners make stuff for pennies. On that note, so some prisons rent out their convicts for hard labor.
See, well, that's why, like, we've had one or two Canadians now that have been caught up in the whole DEI jail system since Trump's taken over. And that's what I keep telling my friends is like, these are all for profit places. So why would they be motivated to get people out by any means necessary? They're just going to keep them as much as they can.
Yeah. It's just very sad to see just how much of the federal government this administration is trying to purge.
Yeah, they are, Tangent. They are slaves. Tangent says slavery is legal in the United States. Convicts are slave labor. Yeah, that's the point we're making. It is not a perfect system at all. Like one thing that I learned late in life is that watching true crime feeds the illusion that the system is working. Right? Is like, you're like, oh, they caught that guy, right? They did the right thing. They had this great investigation, right? But most of the time it's like, oh, well, percentage wise, like a lot more black people than white people going to jail. And even though percentage wise they're a tinier portion of the population than white people,
and the crimes would be the same as a white person, and they'd get like a way more extreme sentencing. Not right.
And we do need to separate money from value.
It's one of the reasons why I like that show. Did you ever see Homicide: Life on the Street?
So they're playing it on Pluto right now. They replaced my Columbo for it, but it's still a good show.
Well, one of the things they talk about, because my brother and I really love the writer of that show, David Simon, and one of the things they talk about on that show is how a lot of it is about percentages and how they have to clear the board. Things are in the red and things are in the black, and it all depends like who gets the most clearance, who has the highest rated clearance. And you gotta put that to bed as fast as possible, right? And it's not always about who actually did it. What the evidence really says.
It's not about doing the best investigation. It's about clearing the board. Yeah, exactly. And like, there's a video that you can find on YouTube right now where it's a cop that had busted somebody for methamphetamine possession. And then the methamphetamine did not end up in the evidence locker. The cop decided that he was going to smoke said methamphetamine in the bathroom at the police station. And so the video starts from another officer stepping into the bathroom and seeing this guy on the floor because there's fentanyl in the meth. And he didn't know that there's fentanyl in the meth. And this guy basically giving him Narcan and saving his life. Right. And it's like, the whole situation of him running back to the car, grabbing the Narcan kit, coming, and he has to give him like 2 or 3 shots up the nose of Narcan in order for him to be able to like live and stuff like that. But like, stuff like that happens all the time, where people were asking the question of how come it didn't end up in the evidence locker? How come, that like didn't go with the evidence when he took the person, like to the jail and everything? Like how come that ended up like being ingested by him? And like there were so many people saying cops do it all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm trying not to be overly sympathetic, but at the same time, when you look at all the horrors that they have to deal with, how else are they supposed to process that stuff? Because there's also such a giant stigma for mental health in that environment, right? So it's a no-win situation, I think, job.
But the thing is the people who want to do right and who would be whistleblowers are stamped down pretty quick by the thin blue line around them.
Yeah.
And
well, it's hard to change a status quo, right?
Yeah, and so like there, it's like Trayvon Martin. Yeah, a lot of those guys, like on the camera footage and stuff like that, were encouraging each other. Same thing with Minneapolis, Floyd, with his death.
George Floyd.
Yeah, George Floyd. He was sitting on his neck, and by the way, it was a camera on a phone that was sent to the news station that got that noticed. It wasn't the police saying, "Oh no, we did something terrible," right? That cop was so confident in the fact that he was going to get away with it. He was smirking while he was sitting on that man's neck while he was dying.
Oh, geez.
So I know you're sympathetic. But as someone who knows cops.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that they're all like that. I'm just saying I try to see all sides.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I understand the eons of systemic hatred and violence against Black people, and I will always support them in any situation.
Yeah.
Like, I've marched against the brutality of the cops in Montreal because they are ridiculously, stupidly overzealous in all things that they do. Like, they harass people constantly in Montreal. They're awful. Yeah. And I've marched for the missing and murdered Indigenous women in Vancouver because the RCMP and the local police will refuse to investigate. And then you discover there's all these serial killers out there that have been killing these women for years. It's awful. I will always side on those sides before I will side with the cops. Yeah. But at the same time, like, as somebody who is now older and has lived the life that is hard and sometimes wants to, I can understand why they make those leaps.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Indigenous natives being killed in Canada, not just one little area.
Yeah.
Like across Canada.
Question, Robin. When you participated in the Black Lives Matter march in Montreal, was that during 2020? It wasn't a Black Lives Matter march. This was years before that. This was like in 2010.
Wow. Because we had there was, I can't remember his name, but there was someone they murdered in captivity because of their brutality. But people don't talk about it in Montreal.
Wow.
But their cops are terrible. Like there's been so many incidences. I remember I apologized to my cousins that were visiting from Toronto once because the cops were yelling at us because we were crossing the street at a crosswalk, but something else was going on. And it was just like they have no finesse. They're very power hungry, it seems. There's times where they'll be arresting someone for nothing, and other people will be filming it, and then they start beating the people that are filming it. And you're just like, this is Canada. What the hell is going on? Now, there are cops across the country that are very excellent in this country. But at the same time, like I said, I will always side with the person that is aggrieved. Like, I don't know how to say it. I'll always side on the minority side because I am a minority as a woman.
I always kind of listen to the underdog. But, for me, the thin blue line of the police is not as thin as they claim.
Oh, no.
Very,
it's a
very
brotherhood.
thick
brotherhood.
Bold.
It's like the military. It's no different. And I remember when we were in high school and we were taking like cults at one point, and they were pointing out all the different things about like what makes a cult. I was like, the military is a cult. When you think about, they choose your sleep, they choose what you wear, they dictate what you do, and the cops are no different. There's more freedom, obviously, if you're a cop versus if you're a soldier. But at the same time, it's like it's a brotherhood. It's tight.
Yeah.
It's a cult.
Yeah, and it's living in Minneapolis. Let me just say, I wasn't surprised to find out about George Floyd. You know, because I dealt with those cops, and here's the thing: is I lived in a part of the city that was lovingly referred to as Murderapolis. And so it was a high black population there and stuff. And because that was the address on my driver's license, and when you looked up the registration for my car and stuff like that, I would get pulled over by cops all the time, and they'd be shocked to see a white girl who lived in that neighborhood. You know, and I had a cop ask me blatantly, like, why are you living in such a dark neighborhood? And I'm like, I don't see any problem. Why? What's so dark about it? You know, and I just played ignorance and tried to get him to just spell it out for me until he realized what I was doing, and then he let me go. You know, it's just, what's so dark about it? I don't understand. What do you mean? Yeah. Anyway, it is time. It is 8:30 my time.
I think it's a good place to end it though, because that, like, the symbiote is actually olive oil is excellent panel, and it's a good dun dun dun.
That's gray, right? That's not a blue on there.
Where,
Jeremy?
Oh,
what? That's supposed to be a gray. Does it need to look grayer?
Okay. It's a blue gray.
Okay.
It's a light blue gray.
Yeah, because it looks like it's gray. Or
that looks gray.
Yeah, that looks
more gray.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not printing these in color, and I don't want it to look weird when I print them out. Okay, so let's stop there with olive oil, and we'll do that, and then we'll go up here. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you, Jeremy, my guest, for joining me and being here again. And I didn't mean to yell at you or anything. I was just like, no, just do the caption first. Like, this is why I have commandments. But we'll touch base after the show, and then Miss Robin, my better half, Robin Fisher, coming to us all the way from the Great North. And then everybody out there in Philo land, I appreciate you guys for joining us. I'm going to raid somebody here on Twitch. If you guys are on Twitch, you can join me for the raid. If you guys are on YouTube, I will be finishing up in just a second. Oh, I see Jeremy is on. Gee, I wonder why. But no, of course he's on because he's doing this with me. So yes, I am going into Mockling's stream. Here we go. Have a good one.